You're listening to episode 936 of the Father Bills podcast. Welcome back. This week's episode is entitled, At Your Wits End, Try God, given on the 19th Sunday in Ordinary Time, 2024. But have in your life you ever been at your wits' end? Unsure of your future? Not sure what to do next? Afraid of it all falling apart? That's how Elijah felt. In his desperation, he cried out to God to take him and to rescue him from his predicament. That predicament, I'm going to invite you to read the scripture, 1 Kings. I mentioned it in the Friday video, but also just you can look at the mitzvah there and read the text beforehand. Let's just say he's afraid because he's being chased by Jezebel, and she wants to kill him. But Elijah's plans were not God's plans at this point. So God sent an angel to guide and give Elijah nourishment for his journey. I think if we dig deep enough, we have all had some similar experiences. Let me share you two of mine. For my high school years, I dreamed of becoming a computer software engineer. I would earn lots of wealth. I would be totally at peace, and I would be happy. That's my plan. So I went to Oregon State University, go Beavers, as a computer engineering student. In my first semester, I received the lowest grade in my life. You're wondering what grade that is, aren't you? I'm not going to tell you. But it was no mere elective. It was a core class for my future. Because, let's say, computer engineering basically is a physics engineering major with some computer hardware in it. So I got a very bad grade in physics. It was a crushing blow. My spirit was laid waste. My hopes of becoming a computer engineer were totally dashed. I was so disoriented that I started to have doubt if I was even going to graduate. I looked to Jesus for my help in my private panic. Because I didn't want everybody to see this. I wanted everybody to hear. I have an ego. It's hard enough that I've blown it. But this is akin to what the prophet was doing, actually. He let God have it. He wanted out. You see, in my case, God did not rescue me. He didn't change my grade. And he did not restore my plans. Clearly, my plans were not his plans. Later, that's story number one. Story number two, later in my time at OSU, I had to pause my job from Fred Meyer. I was working there. That's how I got the money to be able to pay for my schooling. But I had to pause the job so that I could do student teaching for a semester. Because I was now as a math education student. Eventually, I became a math and computer science teacher. But at this time, I didn't realize what was about to happen to me. Remember, now all my income has just stopped. I have bills to pay. I had no idea how I was going to solve this problem. I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to turn, except I did turn to God. And in prayerful petition, I shared that I was afraid, I was angry, I was confused, and felt this was not fair. And on top of it all, I was soon about to become homeless. I did share, as my memory serves, one person named Casey. He was the assistant manager at Fred Meyer. And little did he know that he would be a prophet and a shepherd to me, assuring me that everything would work out, that I had the skills, it would be okay, don't worry. But I was skeptical. He wasn't in my shoes. I was about to be on the streets or in the car only. Yeah, I had no vision of the future anymore. I was at my wits' end. I was embarrassed and ashamed. unexpectedly, some of my close family and some of my distant family sent me money in the mail. And I was able to actually complete my student teaching and pay my bills at the same time. And after I finished that coursework, I was able to return back to Fred Meyer, finish my schooling, and I graduated. I didn't think I'd graduate. Now looking back, I've graduated twice from Morgan State University. I'm not a one-timer, I'm a two-timer. Where was God through all of this? Well, God was with me the whole time, even if I didn't always perceive him to be so. He was encouraging me through words of love in my prayer, and other times through unwitting prophets who guided me, like Casey. Through it all, I did not back away from going to church. But actually, I realized that I need the sacraments even more. I continued to go to Mass. I received Eucharist. I frequented confession. Both of these, I think, are the kind of the linchpins for me, the key to staying close to Jesus, Mass and confession. I couldn't be a priest if I didn't do those things personally. So I share these things, this part of my life with you, not to draw attention to me, but to encourage you if you are at your wits' end. Today I'm thankful for what God has done for me. And I still dabble with physics when I do my astronomy hobby. If you want to see some photos from my vacation, let's talk. I see how much he feeds his people through his church. Here at Holy Trinity and at other previous parishes, he feeds us. I've seen medical miracles. I've anointed people and they've woken out of comas. I've seen conversions of heart. People who are the most adamant against the faith showing up at RCIA, or now OCIA. And faithful support from parishioners who are then helping other people who are at their wits' ends by food, other things. And even when death has taken a family member, I've seen him work at strengthening families in love, inspiring his lost sheep to come back to him, and healing broken relationships. You see, even death has not stopped Jesus from his mission of saving souls. So if you're at your wits' end, if you've come to Mass today and are afraid, confused, angry, and wondering if God exists or if he even cares, I testify to you that he is and he does. God will never abandon you. He knows your suffering. He knows your deepest mistakes and sins, and he desires greatly to receive you back, to heal you, and to remind you that he delights in you. He is now and has always been bringing people into your life as prophets and as shepherds to you. Invite him in once more. Be open to his mystical presence here at Mass and beyond. Today at communion time, or at some other time in this week, invite him into your mind, heart, and soul. Surrender yourself to him. Maybe this is the first time. Maybe it's the 100th time. Do not be afraid. Express your troubles, your worries, and your fears to him. You do not need to be polite. You just let God have it. Give it all to him. He can take it. He loves you more than you can imagine. Just remember what the great prophet Elijah did. He did that very thing. He poured himself out. So if you're at your wits' end, try God.